All glories to Mother Ratasha, all glories to the religion of love, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to our Supreme Lord. O Lord God, please help us live out these teachings and be an example of love in the world. Jai. Okay, today we're going to be reading from the book, The Secret of Happiness. And it's a very short book. It's the shortest book in the Religion of Love book, and we might just breeze through it all right now. It was early one morning when the master entered into a garden and sat beneath a tree, and there gathered were many people, all followers of the religion of love. And bowing down before her, one did ask of her, saying, "Holy Mother, does God always answer our prayers?" "Yes, always," was her reply. Then spoke the master of a child who lived in the hottest country on earth. Now this child, seeing a picture of snow, thought there was nothing more beautiful, and so wished that it would snow on her birthday. Believing with all her heart that God always answered prayers, she began to pray every morning and evening that God would make it snow on her birthday. Her mother admonished the child, saying it was foolish to believe God always answered prayer. When on the child's birthday, the hottest day of the year, it did not snow, the mother then said to the child, "I told you God would not answer your prayer." "Oh yes," said the child, "God did answer my prayer. He said no." Then the same man respectfully requested the master to speak more on the subject of prayer. So the master said, "Most prayer is the asking of something from God, and all these prayers, all these desires, wishes, and wants are as one prayer, a prayer for happiness." And an illustration, she going out among the people there gathered, shocked them by asking for money, and being given a bill, held it aloft, saying, "This is what so many spend their life, their energy, and their intelligence to accumulate. And what is it? Nothing but a wrinkled, rather soiled piece of paper, with a picture of an old dead man on it." "They have not understood," said the master, "that it is not really money that they want, but the happiness they believe that the money will bring them. Know that the things of this world," continued the master, "can only bring a happiness that is limited and temporary, and so cannot fully satisfy. There is, however, a happiness which is unlimited and ever increasing, a happiness by which we are fully satisfied." "Yes," a woman in the crowd calls out, "that is what we want." And another, speaking for all, asks, "And where can this happiness of which you speak be found?" And the master, by telling the story of the rich man and the thief, gives answer. "There was a guest house," began the story, "and in it were staying two men. One was a fabulously rich man, and the other was a thief. Every morning the rich man would come down with a solid gold box stuffed with a fortune in money. Opening the box, the rich man would take out just enough money for the day's expenses, close the box, and take it upstairs. Very soon the rich man would reappear without the box and go into the nearby city for the day. Now the thief, seeing the solid gold box and all the money, determined that he would steal it. So as soon as the rich man left, the thief went up to the rich man's room, and being expert at opening locks, was able to enter the room of the rich man. Once inside, the thief began to search for the solid gold box. He looked in the closet, in the drawers, under the bed, in every possible place, but he could not find the box. The very next morning, down came the rich man with the gold box, taking out some money, went upstairs, came down without the box, and went into the city, whereupon the thief again got into his room, and though looking in every possible place, could not find the box. This went on for the whole week, with the rich man coming down with the box, taking out some money, going upstairs with the box, coming down without it, and going into the city. And every day the thief searched the room of the rich man, looking for the solid gold box stuffed with a fortune in money, but never could he find it. On the last day, when both men were leaving, each to go their own way, the thief approached the rich man and confessed to him, saying, I am a thief, and when I saw your gold box with all that money, I determined I would steal it. So every day I searched your room, but though looking high and low, I could never find it. Now we are both leaving, and I can do you no harm, so please, as I am dying with curiosity, please tell me, where did you hide it? And the rich man answered him thus, When I first saw you, I guessed you were a thief. So I hid the gold box with the money in a place where you would never look for it. Where? Asked the frustrated thief. I hid it, said the rich man, in your room. So warned the master, be not like the thief, searching for your happiness in things outside yourself, or even in another person. Know that the happiness you seek is already yours, hidden inside yourself. If, as you say, said a woman in the crowd, the happiness we seek is already ours, how then can we access it? For we are longing to experience it. And because of their desiring, and because of their asking, what once was hidden was now by God given. For then taught the Master the secret of happiness, revealing that the name of God is holy, a spiritual sound vibration which has the power to cleanse and clear one of all suffering, ignorance, and illusion. And so explained, the Lord and his name are non-different. In the world we know the name of an object and the object itself are different. Just by saying the word water, we cannot quench a thirst. But God and the name of God are not of the world we know, but of the spiritual. It is in the holy name of God, the Lord and his name being one and the same, that we come into the very presence of God, and by the presence of God are we purified, so that all the dirt of ignorance, all that is troublesome to the heart, is washed away, and our true, eternal, spiritual selves revealed. And in that state, said the Master, one experiences a happiness full in bliss, joy, ecstasy, a peace deep and abiding, a happiness unlimited and ever increasing, so that though still in the world, though no longer of the world, one lives in love. Jai. And that's the Secret Happiness book. Short and sweet. And after this, there is an example of different names of God that one can chant. So pray in the holy names of God. Here is a small selection out of the many from several different religions. Christianity. Abba, Father, have mercy on me. Abba is the name Jesus used to call God, and the mercy we pray for is the purification of our heart. Judaism, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Islam, La ilaha illallah. There is no God but God. And Hinduism, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare, the feminine aspect of God. Krishna, name of God meaning all attractive. Rama, the pleasure potency of God. So these are just a few examples how one could chant the holy name and experience that real secret of happiness. So let's go back, have a little commentary. So someone asked, does God always answer our prayers? And here's the nice story of the child who wants it to snow on her birthday, hottest day of the year in the hottest country on earth. Of course it's not going to snow. But the child, being wise, said, yes, God answered my prayer. He said no. Yes. No is an answer too. God always hears our prayers. God hears everything. What does God not hear, not see, not know? Of course, God is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. God is here, everywhere, all around, and all of us are in God. So there is nothing truly separate from God. And of course, when we pray unto Him, He hears our prayers. Of course He does. But what is the nature of most of our prayers? She says here, most, their prayer is the asking of something from God. As it says also in the Religion of Love book, their prayers are like the prayers of beggars, asking, give me this, give me that. They're like the so-called friend who only shows up when he needs something, right? So this type of prayer, asking for some material thing, something to benefit yourself, that as long as you're asking for God, that's better, better to speak to God, pray to God, than not pray, of course. Anytime we are conscious or mindful of the Lord, that is good. And there's nothing wrong with praying the Lord for help with things, or to get some things we might need or desire. That's okay. But of course, there's higher and higher levels of prayer, just as there are higher and higher levels of love, knowledge, devotion, etc. And when you're asking God for something for yourself, that's a little selfish, is it not? Give me, just like a child. I want. And God always helps us fulfill our desires. In fact, the only reason we're able to achieve any goal or to get what we're working towards in the end is ultimately by the mercy of God. Everything is by God's mercy, ultimately. He may not be directly involved in the material affairs, but particularly with His devotees of the Lord, He is a little more directly engaging and helping us come closer to Him, if that is our desire. Because the more we desire God Himself, to have God in our life and experience God, love God, the more will God give to us the ability to fulfill that desire. And what is it we're desiring? At the root of all desire is the desire for happiness. In fact, everything that we do in life, everything, is either to gain some joy or some happiness, or to avoid some pain, some suffering. Really, you can boil it all down to those two parameters in our choices. Now, of course, we are a little illusioned with what is actually going to make us happy. Little, I shouldn't say. We're completely illusioned, actually. We're hook, line, and sinker, caught in the bodily concept of life. We really believe that we are these bodies, which is an illusion. wife and I were reading Bhagavad Gita last night, and there was a wonderful shlok, a verse, that said that one who is wise and realized knows that though the body is smelling and eating and moving about and speaking and all these things, he knows that he himself actually does nothing at all. So, meaning, no matter all of our engagements, all of our activities, these are the body and our bodily senses that are moving, not us proper, the soul within the body. It's not the soul that's touching, this microphone, this laptop. It's just the body, the senses, the real I, and within the body. So, seeking to please the senses of the body under the illusion that we are this body. So, senses are enjoying, that means I'm enjoying. It's a wrong concept, because that's not the real us. We are the one inside the body. We are the driver of this machine made out of the material energy. But under the illusion of spell of material nature, we're somewhat on autopilot. The AI of the mind, you can say, is kind of running the show. We think all the voice in our head, that's all the random code and thoughts of that computer of the mind. Best computer in the world, really. No one can make a computer greater than God. It's right here. This is our mind. But those voices in our head, the thoughts, the narrative, the monologue going on inside here, that's not us. That's not the real us. That's just the mind. And we are not the mind. We're not these bodies. They're all temporary. But in order for the mind to think and function, there has to be a pure, actual consciousness behind all that to power it, for that it has the ability to think, to experience, to desire, to will. And that is the real us, the spirit soul within the body. But our consciousness, our original, spiritual, eternal consciousness, the true nature of our real self, is so covered over, covered by ignorance, illusion, etc. These are what filter our consciousness through the mind, and we act out of the illusions that the world presents to us as reality. But this is not reality. I mean, it's real in the sense that it's not false. Like, I can actually talk to you, hug you, we can experience things in this world. So it's real, but it's real just like how a dream is real. You wake up from a dream, the dream happened, but of course, it's just a dream, it wasn't real. But you still experienced it, you still remember it. So this life that we live in these bodies, under the bodily concept of life and material consciousness, is such as a dream. It's just like that. This is the dream-like state of material life. And all their desires are for happiness. But, as she says, the things of this world can only bring a happiness that is limited and temporary, and so cannot fully satisfy. And we've all experienced that. It doesn't last. The joy doesn't last. The high doesn't stay high. We always need more and more of more. Oh, and she gives a nice example of, she holds up the paper. I've seen Mother Tasha do this many times. She asks for a piece of paper or money, right? And she'll hold it up and she'll say, what is this? I mean, who cares? If you had imagine there was no value to it, right? Would you want a bunch of soiled green paper or colorful paper with dead people? Who cares? It's rubbish, throw it in the garbage bin. But because of the value it represents, right? And more importantly, what we think we can buy with the value of those papers. We think the happiness that we're going to get, experience, that's why we hanker for it so much. We think money is the root of our happiness and success in this life. So we make our purpose in life that. And quick note to clarify, she always gave the money back to the people, so she didn't keep it. She sometimes made a joke that she was pocketing it, but she always gave it back, just for an example. So, there is, however, she says, a happiness which is unlimited and ever increasing. Imagine, unlimited, there's no limitation to it, It doesn't run out. It doesn't expire. It doesn't, you get the high and you come down, or you get the satisfaction feeling of eating a meal and then you never get hungry again. It is unlimited and ever increasing, constantly increasing, more bliss, more love, more knowledge. Oh, this is the nature of the eternal, ecstatic, spiritual, ecstatic. So there is a happiness such as this. And she says, that's what we want, this lady asked. Where can this happiness of which you speak be found? And then the long story of the rich man and the thief, and how much the rich man is tantalizingly teasing this thief. He's like, I want those riches. And he thinks I'll be happy if he gets the gold from this rich man. And he's searching every day in the rich man's room, never finds it. Searching up and down, tearing the place apart, can't find it. Of course, put it back together so he doesn't get caught. And he's so frustrated on the day that the rich man's leaving and he's leaving, he's just dying to know. You gotta tell me, where did you hide that gold? I don't even care you know I'm a thief anymore. I gotta know. And the rich man's like, I read your book. I knew you were a thief. So I hid it where you would never look for it. Where? I hid it in your room. And this is an analogy, a metaphor, that how hard we endeavor outside of ourselves, seeking happiness in other places, in other people, in things, in the accumulation of wealth, economic development, religiosity, sense gratification, even seeking liberation. We're trying to get happiness outside ourselves, thinking I have to get it somewhere, I have to acquire it, I have to buy it, right? I have to earn it. But that's not the case. Mother Tasha says, be not like the thief searching for your happiness in things outside yourself or even in another person. Know that the happiness you seek is already yours. Hidden inside yourself. It's already there. This was one of the most beautiful revelations for me when I first came to spiritual life. I too had the misconception, even for being successful in spiritual life, that I needed to find enlightenment somewhere, I needed to get some blessings, I needed to go here, be in a cave there, And realizing that in knowledge, all I was seeking was already there, already, it's just me. What I'm seeking is me, the real me, to experience my true spiritual self beyond the mind, deep within the heart. And to experience my ecstatic, loving relationship with God, which I've forgotten. And realizing that no one can give that to you. You can't find that anywhere outside. It's all here inside. This is that inner peace, that inner happiness, which all of us already have. That's the beauty of it. It relies on nothing outside of you. There is no circumstance externally that's going to give you that experience that you seek of happiness within. And once you have that, or you taste that, you experience that through chanting of the holy names, you'll know that there is nothing greater. And all the joys and happiness of this world start to pall in comparison. They start to lose their attraction. The more and more you start to taste the spiritual, start to experience a little bit of your real self and your loving relationship with God. How do we do that? Already alluded to, chanting the holy names. This is the kicker. This is the linchpin. This is really what makes everything happen in our spiritual life is God. God is what we're missing. God is what we need to reach God. And We have access to him 24/7 through the medium of his holy names. Hallowed be thy name. The name of God is a spiritual sound vibration. It is not of this world, but of the spiritual. And it has the power to cleanse and clear one of all suffering, ignorance, and illusion. It can, if you chant the holy names. You just have to do it. You have to take up the practice, be disciplined with it. You're not going to experience ecstatic bliss on day one of chanting, although some do, and I'm happy for them. But you got to work at it. We have layers and layers of ignorance, of illusion, of all this suffering in the mind. We have to work at it. We have to chip away at it, little by little, one bite at a time, taking out our own garbage from the mind. All the pollutants, all the contaminants, all the toxins of material energy that are covering the real us. An enlightened one, saint, a spiritual master, messenger of God, these holy ones, pure devotees, they are just like you and I. They are just free of the covering, free of that material contamination. That's it. That's the only difference. Every single one of us is of the same caliber, the same quality, the same nature. Of course, we're all unique and different. Different personalities. Not all the same, quote unquote, but we're all of the same eternal ecstatic nature. Eternal, blissful, full of knowledge. Eternal servants of God, every single one of us. And it's when we experience our real self do we relish that bliss. And she says it so nicely here. One experiences a happiness full in bliss, joy, ecstasy, a peace deep and abiding, a happiness unlimited and ever increasing, so that though still in the world, though no longer of the world, because you're no longer in your material mind, you're experiencing and acting out of your heart, your real self, one lives in love. And you've heard this. I didn't go over this. Said that the name of God is one and the same. It comes in the very presence of God, purifies it all. Yeah, so you've heard all this before. Now this is recapping. This is mentioned many times in the book, The Teachings of Chanting, and honestly cannot be mentioned and re-mentioned again and again enough, because chanting the holy names. Religion is something you live, something you do. Spiritual life, you live it. The word Islam means surrender to the will of God. It is a verb. It's not a noun. Islam's not a group or a thing. It's a verb. It's an action, something you do. And this is the thing we do. Chant the holy names of God. That is the cornerstone. And I have personally witnessed devotees who have been regularly chanting every day, keeping with their practice, their vows. And oh my gosh, like a fine wine, they get sweeter and riper with age. Oh my goodness, I've seen so much love, so much peace, so much clarity of purpose, so much undisturbance with the world and its trifling, problems here and there. I've seen them so wonderful, so lovely, so joyful, so peaceful. If you stick with it, devotees of God get greater in age. Material life, we get worse. We get older. We get forgetful. We have so much more problems. And even the devotees, they still have bodily issues. I mean, come on, it's not like chanting is going to prevent arthritis, But that arthritis ain't going to bother you when you're in bliss in your heart. It's going to be there, sure, but you're like, whatever. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Once you have God, you have everything. And that's what the devotee wants in their prayers. Their prayers is not for give me, give me, give me this. The prayer of the devotee is, God, I want you. You who I want. Please let me love and serve you. Let me have you in my life. That is the inherent prayer in chanting the holy names of God. Okay, and speaking of, and here's these wonderful examples of chanting, which I mentioned. There's way more than this. To clarify, in Judaism, there actually is no name of God in here. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. This is a prayer from the Torah. There's no name of God there, but for inclusivity, it's mentioned. The name of God revealed unto the Jews was lost over time. That's another story to that. But at least Abba is in the Bible. So Abba and Allah and Krishna, Rama, and there's so many names. Vasudeva, Dhananjaya, so many names of God. Chaitanya, Nityananda, Ishvambara, Bhagavan, so many names of God. And you can make your own little mantra of names of God. These are examples of mantra. Abba, Father, have mercy on me. La ilaha illallah. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, There's no hard and fast rules, really. You can just pick one of these names and just go Abba, 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 but it might, difficult to repeat, Some of them roll off the tongue a little better than others. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. These are some good mantras, right? But so many more. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, or Vasudeva, Vasudeva, Narayana, 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 Om Namo Narayanaya. Or you could just pick any name of God, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, 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 Ram. It doesn't matter. To each their own. Some of these mantras are handy because, they roll off the tongue more. And they make it easier to repeat, for, hours at a time. But that is what's recommended. If we can just chant at least 2 hours a day, names of God, or in particular, this one Hare Krishna mantra, you can chant that 108 times on a prayer beads, and do that 16 times. So that's 16 rounds of 108 beads of each bead reciting this mantra, which takes you about, when you get into a rhythm, 2 hours to do. So, chanting 2 hours a day, this much is the recommended minimum to be spiritually realized in this lifetime. Now, you don't start, of course, at 2 hours a day, but this is what is taught and recommended by spiritual masters, acharyas, messengers of God. Begin where you are. Start off slow. So, I don't know if any of you have any questions, perchance. And we'll go, actually, no, let me pause here real fast, because maybe we'll do some congregational chanting in a little bit, but let me pause here and get to the question and answers. 1 second. Okay. So I should ask, does anyone have any questions, perchance? You're good. Nope, all clear? Mother Tasha said, the message of God, the spiritual knowledge and instructions, they must be clear. Because if they're not clear, then you won't be able to do it. So if there's no question, then it's very clear for everyone, and that means it's easy to understand and we can all do it. Yes?
Yes.
Alright, so no questions? Yeti, Meet, Locke, Joey? Y'all good?
I was pretty self-explanatory, to be honest.
Okay, then if you guys have understanding, then maybe we can do it together. Shall we? You guys want to try a little congregational chanting of the holy names together? you can humor me. So everyone who can, if you're able to unmute your mics, if you can. There you go. I don't know if Aaron can. Aaron, you still have roommates? Can you unmute?
Yes, no.
There he is. And Joey, I know you're washing your car and you got noise from Beach Boulevard behind you, but there he is. Okay. Let's just do, a little, this is one of the most simple ways that people chant in a group, right? Now, when we're together, we often will chant quietly to ourselves, just in a manner that's audible enough so that you can hear it. Kind of like a whisper, like, because, when you're chanting for 2 hours at a time, it helps, save your throat a bit instead of like 2 hours of singing, So usually we chant very quietly to ourselves. That's called japa. That's chanting quietly to yourself. And that's what all devotees do. That's that 2 hours a day minimum thing, right? And then when devotees can be together, we chant congregationally out loud. And mind you, you don't have to whisper it, of course. That's what's normally done because it's more efficient. But you can sing it. You can just speak it normally how we're talking now. There's no hard and fast rules to chanting. It's really your practice. You make it your own, as to each their own, right? What matters is that you actually do it. As long as you're doing it, and and you can hear the holy name, it's doing its work. God is present and purifying you. That's how it works. And congregationally chanting, which is called kirtan, is usually done in call and response, which is kind of fun, especially when you got some music and a drum or two, around. It gets pretty lively. Dancing is sometimes you're inspired to cut a rug a bit when you're chanting, which is fun. So let's do a little call and response. And I know with the lag, this is going to be funny. We got, Australia, India, America, live, so we're going to have some lag here, so it's going to be off. But I'll say a name, a mantra, and you guys just repeat it in the same meter as best you can. It's no simpler than that. Ready? Here we go. Abba, Father, have mercy on me.
Abba, Father, have mercy on me.
There you go. Yeti's shy. See, Yeti wants some rhythm. Abba, Father, have mercy on me.
Abba, Father,
Father, have mercy on me.
There he goes. Abba, Father, have mercy on me.
Abba, Father, have mercy on me.
Oh, the religion of choir is coming together. Okay. All right. And then another one. La ilaha illallah.
La ilaha illallah.
There you go. La ilaha illallah.
La ilaha illallah.
There you go. La ilaha illallah.
La ilaha illallah.
Yeti's shy on that one, I see. La ilaha illallah.
La ilaha illallah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, and let's try the Hare Krishna one. All right, now this one's kind of long, so I'll read half of it, and you do that half, and then I'll do the second half, and you do the second half. Ready? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Yeti was shy for his second verse. There we go. Hare. Oh yeah, I'll make think of a nice melody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
All right, we're not ready to go on tour yet, but that was great. Thank you, guys. So, it's simple as that. Now, even though that was just a few little words of chanting, you have no idea how powerful that is. Even just, it's said in the scriptures, even once, offenselessly chanting a name of God can save one from, hellish existence after this life. I mean, it's really powerful. Each time you recite the holy name and hear the holy name, it's purifying to our heart and mind. It cleanses us of illusion, ignorance, and suffering. It does. And the more you chant, just the more of that illusion, ignorance, and suffering is cleared away. It's the greatest investment in yourself. And if you are after a goal, for example, you want to, of course, figure out the most efficient and effective way to achieve that goal, right? The least amount of time and the least amount of energy, right? Work smarter, not harder, right? Like there was some sprinkler system I was having to work with to try and shut off just a few of the sprinklers in the lawn, and everyone's telling me you have to dig it out and go deep down and make a mess, disturb the roots of the grass, all this stuff. And I said, there's got to be a smarter way to do this. I did my research and I found these little tiny caps that one supplier on the internet have, and I ordered those and I just popped it up, changed cap, boop, done. Right? Work smarter, not harder. Right? So it's the same with spiritual life. We can work smarter, not harder, to achieve that inner peace and happiness of our true spiritual self. And the most efficient way that you can do that, the most bang for your buck, for your time and energy, isn't severe austerities and penances, isn't rigorous, difficult yogic practices of Ashtanga and controlling the mind and senses. It isn't through lavish sacrifices and ceremonies. It isn't through any of these things. Those are somewhat purifying, but like little nibbles at our ignorance. Really, it's nothing much compared to chanting the holy names of God. Oof, powerful! It is direct contact with the Supreme Lord through the medium of His holy names. Like you're literally in the presence of God directly. It's said that for a lover of God who chants the names, the Lord dances on your tongue. And of course, offenselessly, I mentioned one who chants the names offenselessly, right? Offenselessly means not committing offenses in your life and also chanting, meaning you don't do a bunch of nonsense or talk shiza on the Lord or His devotees or His scriptures, at the same time chant His holy name, thinking that's going to work out so great, or trying to do naughty things, sinful things, and then, I'll just go chant later and then that will clear that up for me and exploit God's mercy. These are offensive things, But if we don't have any of that stuff in your mind, mind you, those offenses, those sins are in the sin book, offenses to the holy name. If you're not committing those, and you chant the holy names offenselessly, and you give it your attention and your love, and love really is, you can say put your love in something means gives your full attention to it. That's what it means. Like when we really love something, you put your all into it. So if you can put your all into it, you just tune everything out for a few minutes, just to get started, and just repetitively chant the holy names and just listen, hear the words, hear the names, every syllable, every word, just hear clearly the holy names of God. And it's just washing your heart and mind. That's what it's doing. It's so, so powerful. Yet it's so simple, we take it for granted, and we often don't realize just how powerful it actually is. It surely is that powerful. The simplest thing usually is the best thing, right? And it's the same here. This is the Yuga Dharma, the recommended practice for spiritualization in this present age of quarrel and hypocrisy. It's so simple. Just chant the holy names. So, as I said, you start small, build, build, build. And if you can get up to 2 hours a day or 16 rounds of that Maha Mantra, the Hare Krishna mantra, every day, and you just stick with that as a practice, 2 hours a day for ultimate, ever-increasing, unlimited happiness. Oof, I think that's worth it, right? Because think how many hours a day we spend working for money, dealing with this, dealing with that, for what? Of course, things we gotta do things we gotta get done in this world. I mean, and arguing with that, but everything that comes out of all that work that isn't in devotional service is ultimately lost. Everything. And the happiness we gain from material sense gratification is limited and temporary. We enjoy something for a while, and then it palls, and then we're bored, and then we want some more, right? Or, and for a lot of people, actually, their idea of happiness, and I kid you not, this is for a lot of people's idea of happiness is just the temporary absence of misery and suffering. Can you imagine? Think of that. As long as something's not on fire right now, as long as I'm not, in a terrible state or condition, I'm not sad right now, I'm okay, then I'm good. So we become complacent with just being okay. And that is our I guess, goal, most of us, is just to be comfortable, just to be, I guess you could say complacent and, in this middle ground of experience in life. But that's barely living at all. That ain't living. That's just counting out the days, so you're dead, really. I mentioned that nice quote from a movie, Shawshank Redemption. My favorite line from that book, or movie, it's a book and movie, is when the main character says, either get busy living or get busy dying. And he's right. And that most of us are just getting busy, counting down the days till death. And life just gets worse and worse and worse till the body clocks out. But not for a devotee. No. It gets better and better and better. Oh my gosh. Life keeps getting better. The joy keeps increasing. The knowledge you experience and realize doesn't end. And the peace, I'm telling you guys, it's amazing. And it doesn't get old, and it keeps ever increasing, ever fresh. And you can be anywhere at any time and not only just be okay, but be ecstatically beyond that. Just bliss out, really. It's possible. In fact, it's you. That's the real you. Your natural state is so awesome. The real you is so awesome. Just gotta clear all the nonsense out of the way. All the illusions, all the ignorance, all the wrong usages of the mind. Clear all that out till just love remains. Till just you remain. Just you. I'm telling you, you are so awesome, so beautiful, so amazing, so bright, and the real you, that of all of us, our real selves. We just need to experience that again. That is the saintliness, that is the enlightenment, that is that, peace, deep and abiding. And to get there, just chant the holy names, chant the holy names, chant the holy names of God. So, hence why it's repeated many times in the book, I think that's a great win. If we can inspire others to chant the holy names, that's wonderful. And of course, I don't get anything out of that. The person who's chanting is who's benefiting. We're just happy to see people not suffering. Devotees of God want people to be happy. We don't want to see people suffer. And there's no greater source of our suffering than the ignorance we experience covering our real selves, causing us to repeatedly deal with birth, death, old age, and disease in this material world. So we want to give the cure. We don't want to just give you a Band-Aid or give you some cough syrup. We want to give you the cure to the disease. And that's the devotee's heart. They want to live it themselves and give it to others so that others can also be free from suffering and experience real happiness. and be free from birth and death. Go home. Be in the spiritual life, eternal and abundant. Everything's awesome and full of love. Oh, it's real, guys. It ain't no joke. And so nothing makes me happier when I hear people are chanting, And that's really our goal with the Religion of Love movement, is to share the knowledge and the tools by which someone can become enlightened. Basically, self-equip everybody, regardless of their faith or background, with knowledge and tools so that they themselves can come to love of God and experience their true state of eternality, bliss, and knowledge. Spiritual realization. Isn't that beautiful? And we ain't looking you to convert to anything or proselytize or join us. No, my goodness. Follow me. No, don't follow me around. No. No. Take this knowledge, take these holy names, chant them, use them, apply them in your life. Be happy. Be really happy. That's the secret. Secret of happiness. Okay. Thank you guys for chanting. After that, one last call. Anybody have any questions or comments you'd like to share? No? I'll share this for you guys. My mother-in-law, she's from the East, and she grew up in, more Muslim background. And I've been telling her all these nice names of God from different backgrounds all around. There's, Abbas in the Bible, in the Quran there's 99, and in the Vedic scriptures there's over 1,000. There's so many names of God. It's pretty cool. So a lot to choose from to make your own personal mantra. It's pretty cool. And my mother-in-law, she made her own mantra. So I'll share it with you guys. So she used the names Chaitanya, Nityananda, Krishna, Balaram, and then she added Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, which is opening to every chapter of the Quran, right? Beautiful means in the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. And Chaitanya, name of God, which means the supreme living force, the life force of everything. Nityananda means eternal bliss. And Krishna, you heard, and Balaram, same Ram, the pleasure, potency of God, and Bala means strength. God give you strength and feel ecstasy. So that's her mantra, and I like that one too. Chaitanya Nityananda Krishna Balaram Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? I don't know. Do you guys want to try that one? You guys are like, oh, I don't want to unmute my mic. No. Once was enough, no. But Chaitanya Nityananda Krishna Balaram Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Chaitanya Nityananda Krishna Balaram Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Oh, it's nice. Yeah. Good job, mother-in-law. She's awesome. Yeah, she takes my side in arguments with my wife. Yeah, I'm joking. President of my fan club. Just joking. Anywho, I guess we'll stop there. So you can take, like I said, take any names of God, tried and true mantras, make your own, like my mother-in-law, make it beautiful. You be beautiful. Be your true selves. Okay. All glories to Mother Ratasha, all glories to Religion of Love, all glories to the assembled enchanting devotees. Jai.